Welcome. I'm David Selzer, proud member of this community. Would you now get to know each other? Look around and shake hands and welcome to each other. So, well, that was a rousing session. Out of order, but still needed, is if you have any cell phones or other electronic devices, to quiet them during the process. There you go. It's off. I've been thinking about this. My truth of the day. I have a tendency to disappear sometimes, and I've been thinking about a scene in The Hobbit where Bilbo Baggins has a party, and at some point he puts on the magic ring and disappears. And I've often thought that appeals to me, actually. I'm thinking, what a nice thing. And then I was thinking about some of the beliefs that we have in here, and I think there's a belief involved in that disappearing is sometimes a good thing, and it's something I need to look at. So if that resonates with anybody in here, there you have it. So now I'm going to give over to our practitioner of the day.
Nope, we're going to chant first.
We're going to do the chant first, and then practitioner Janet Ryan.
Let's all stand up and sing our hearts out, or sing our hearts in. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to lean, and grace my faith. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. We've been there 10,000 lights shining at the sun. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we blind, but now I see. Amen, brothers and sisters.
So I invite you to settle into the grace of this very moment, the amazing grace of Spirit, calling in all aspects of yourself to be fully present. As I speak this word, I know that there is oneness, the all-sufficiency of Spirit, unconditional love at the center of all that is. And in this affirmative prayer, I claim and know that I too am this, as are we all, joint heirs to the blessings, the beauty of life on planet Earth. In this body, in the body of our affairs, the divine is at the center of all. And so in this very moment, I call forth that shift in consciousness that reorders, reorganizes, recalibrates anything that up until now has appeared to be outside, calling in to the wholeness, calling in to the oneness. This is indeed alchemy, not by the power of our own individual effort, but the united power of the divine within us. That is who we are. And I know that in this service today, there is something miraculous, something magical, something magnificent for each and for all. So I accept this blessing in advance and call it good, a synonym for God. And in gratitude, I submit this word to the law of mind that makes it so. And so it is. Amen. So it's now my pleasure to introduce our musicians and the amazing Scott Grace, who is indeed a modern-day alchemist. He takes the words of the moment and creates songs right on the spot. And so please open your hearts to the gift of Scott Grace. Blessed be.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Janet. Did I get that wrong? Oh, is she not illegal? You're not illegal? Oh my God, she's an irreverent, illegal reverend. The authorities are waiting for you outside. We good? We good. Get in your pajamas. Let's gather and snuggle. And I'll tell you a story, the story of struggle. It begins at a time before struggle began, in a garden called Easy, where all things were grand. The people who tended the garden had fun. They prospered and played and got lots of things done. One day, two plain folks, call them Adam and Eve, went under the covers with shame and some leaves. And then came the blame game, the who cut the cheese. Was it Eve or a snake or the wrong choice of trees? The day-to-day play, all the joy they were given, gave way to the sense, we must work for a living. And God did reply, kids, you gotta be kidding. Everything you could want is right here, not forbidden. But they could not receive the good news. They thought that to play, they must first pay their dues. By the sweat of thy brow, we must now earn our bread. And they didn't know the gluten had gone to their heads. Then they passed this confusion right on to their kids, hiding their loins with more leaves from more figs, teaching their offspring original sin, who then passed it off to their nextest of kin. And they made their cause noble. They justified pain. To suffer's God's will. No pain means no gain. And if you have suffered through life unabated, when you croak, your rewards card will be activated. That's when you cash in all your hard sacrifices and rest up in heaven with the rest of the righteous. And so human beings, they assumed the position of forgetting God's love did not come with conditions. They dreamed up a God with a list of demands, with rules and with judgments and a whip in his hands. And over the seas came the pure Puritans to spread the work ethic all over the land. The pleasures of life must not ever be trusted. If you dare enjoy sex, you're eternally busted. God sits on a cloud with his one only son, and they both wear a frown if you have too much fun. But if you can grab a bull right by its horns, well, then God is pleased and might send less shitstorms. And then on your tombstone, your tribute might say, she worked hard for the money and toiled each day. He played by the rules, never did make a scene. And here lies his body along with his dreams. Most folks are not dead yet, just taking a snooze, asleep at the wheel driven by their to-dos. The average adult has a list that won't stop, and to be who you are is just not near the top. But when your to-bes become priorities, you could fly through to-dos with the greatest of ease. But when your to-dos make to-bes disappear, you get caught in to-do-dos right up to your ears. So what in the world is this thing struggling? Allow me to define it, this world-famous thing. It's trying and trying and trying so hard with your own ego strength that is no match for God's. You're doing your best and it's very courageous, but I'll do it myself is not self-advantageous. Yet when you join hands with the powers that be, then your source takes the lead, and she leads you for free. So struggling simply a well-worn belief, and beliefs can be bygones, replaced and released. See, what's a belief but a thought you've been thinking so long and so hard that it's doing some stinking? And when you can smell your own moldy beliefs, you break out of the mold and you get some relief. By now, are you thinking, enough is enough? There's life beyond struggle. I just gotta trust. Then, woohoo, you're ready to drop that belief and reclaim what's under your ancient fig leaf. 'Cause under your cover, there's nothing to hide. That slippery serpent's been speaking some jive. We don't work for a living. We're already alive. We're not here for surviving. We be here to thrive. We're not human doings. We're beings born to fly. More after the talk.
That is so darn brilliant. I'm telling you what. And, you know, I love it that you're all here to listen to me, But I mean, Scott, anybody on Facebook, that's going to be up on Facebook, and you should share it with everybody because that needs to go viral. I mean, really, it's so, yeah. And, he even talked to me beforehand. He said, the last time I was here, it was really hard to put that up on Facebook. We had to mess with it a lot because your laugh came through the microphone. So I really tried not to laugh. And I loved it even so. So good morning, everybody. It's so great to see you all today. This is the last Sunday that we are going to be dealing with this healing topic here, the law of healing, because this is the last Sunday that we are looking at this quote, and that is, we believe in the healing of the sick through the power of the mind. And if you like what was said today and you didn't get the rest of the talks, they're up on YouTube as well. So just to review, so we kind of get all into the same understanding of what healing is, we talked for the last 3 Sundays about healing being restoring ourselves to our optimum state for realizing our soul's purpose. And that covers, really any physical presentation that you make to the world. I mean, if that's you, you can accomplish what you are here to accomplish, as long as you are in that healed state. And that healed state involves body, mind, and emotions. And so, although we love and know that God is in every single remedy and every single health practice, what we do here in Science of Mind is to look at how the mind, in the quote right there, it says, we believe in the healing of the sick through the power of the mind. And so that involves exactly what Scott was talking about, and that is changing our beliefs to the truth. And when we achieve a certain level of skill at that for ourselves, and some of us have worked for years and years, the practitioners work every single day to clarify their consciousness so that they are in a healed state. And when we have that level of skill of being in a moderately healed state, then guess what? We get to heal the world. And that also has to do with our beliefs. Such as, here's a belief: I am a powerful force for good, and every life I touch moves toward healing. Let's you say that. I am a powerful force for good in the world, and every life I touch moves toward healing. Isn't that great? Some people are taking a note. I'll say it again. I am a powerful force for good in the world, and every life I touch moves towards healing. That's the way we can be, and that's the way we are when we actually live in the truth. And when we are there, we become contemporary alchemists. Well, that's healing. That's a little bit behind here. There we go. Becoming a contemporary alchemist. Look at that. That's what we become when we are that powerful force for good in the world, because we are helping, that's the title talk, when we're there, we are helping humanity move towards transformation. And that's the word for today, is transformation. So, in order to understand this powerful wisdom tradition of alchemy, and to become a contemporary alchemist, we have to look towards history. And I want to just warn you that I love this talk, and it's one of the more woo-woo talks that you will hear. So just to, just to be okay with that, because I'm going to quote from a book called White Magic, and we've got another book on the altar called High Magic, and it's all the same thing. Can you just roll with me here? Okay, so I don't know, I might do a whole poofy thing here, I'm not sure. But anyway. So a definition of alchemy is the medieval forerunner of chemistry based on the supposed transformation of matter. It was concerned particularly with attempts to convert base metals into gold. And not only that, it really was considered high magic in the medieval times, and the skills were passed on, you know, in secret, so that the peasants who saw whatever they did were just like completely amazed. And another piece of this that and people spend lifetimes studying this, but you might have heard of the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone in some alchemical traditions is a stone that is produced that then in turn helps to change base metals into gold and all kinds of other lowly things into more wonderful things, including creating an elixir of life that leads to immortality. So the Western tradition of alchemy, I'm really telescoping this. If you're interested, I've got lots of books on it. The Western alchemical tradition harkens back to Hermes Trismegistus. That means the thrice great Hermes, who was from the Egyptian tradition and then comes to us as the god Hermes in Roman tradition. But there were also alchemical traditions in China and India, and they all had kind of the same idea of taking something that was lowly and making it perfect. It's actually the study of creating perfection, which right there, when we say in Science of Mind, we are perfect, whole, and complete, our work is about manifesting that in ourselves, letting go of anything that stands in the way of our perfection. So on the altar here, I have a book with a alchemical formula that is just completely amazing, because a lot of the alchemical texts are absolutely baffling. They have formula that you can't understand, along with dragons and unicorns and salamanders and phoenixes, and somehow that makes sense to the medieval alchemists. It has, I said it was the forerunner of chemistry. It has something like chemistry in it, in that it has physical processes. You manipulate matter. But some things are not related to modern chemistry, because this was way before the scientific method and anything like experimentation and trials and all of that kind of thing. So over the ages, the idea of alchemy has extended out of just the pure physical realm, including the physical realm, but moving into the metaphysical realm. So you have things like hate and anger and betrayal transformed, literally transformed into the higher vibration of love, forgiveness, and generosity. And this, Gailya did this wonderful altar. This high magic book is her book, and she said it to me once, she said it to me 14 times between yesterday and today. She said, "This is Science of Mind. This is exactly what we teach." And it's about exactly what Janet was talking about in the prayer, that inside we reorder, we reorganize, we recalibrate our thoughts so that the higher manifestation may come forth. Sounds like magic to me. So there are many parallels, and it fits in with mental science, because new thoughts transform our lives, and new thoughts transform our lives into a higher experience. And so that's the alchemical model, taking something base and making it sublime. So you ready to? That was the overview. Now we get to go a little bit deeper. Yeah. Okay. So here we are, ancient alchemist wisdom. Look at, isn't he just fabulous? And I mean, I'm having a very good time here. So the first is prima materia, available but mostly rejected. All right, so I am going to quote from this little history book of white magic here, and let's see what they say about materia, or prima materia. The alchemists said that their prima materia could be found anywhere, rejected as useless by the common man, but capable of being distilled and transformed into purest gold. So I think what that means literally is that, dirt is everywhere. You walk on dirt, on the earth. And what the alchemist said is that can be changed into gold. But when you take this as not only a physical premise, but a metaphysical premise, and you say, what is there that we all have that is absolutely unlimited that most people don't use well? And of course, it is our power of imagination. It is using our imagination, recalibrating, reconstituting the beliefs on the inside so that we create a mental equivalent for our own life or for the world that is filled with the qualities of life that we want. And there we have a technique for doing that in this modern metaphysical philosophy, that if you do these processes, your life will be absolutely transformed. So just to let you know, there's nothing new in the world, kids. I say the same thing every single Sunday. And I'm thrilled to be able to use something a little bit far afield to say the same thing. Okay, next. That alchemy is a form of depth psychology. Now, Carl Jung, who actually studied the Ernest Holmes material, we believe, because he had the Science of Mind textbook on his bedside table when he died. Carl Jung contributed a lot to the modern psychological alchemical understanding. And he said that we all have mythical creatures and common stories that live in our subconscious. We all have the hero's journey imprinted inside us. The hero's journey is challenge, overcoming challenge. That's basically it. We all have that model in us unless we say challenge, oh, I'm going to sit here in it. We have that built into us. So we know that we all go through some sort of wrestling with demons in our subconscious that are scary, and we sometimes, with help like you get here, you move through them to a different story, and the different story makes your whole life different. This is everywhere. The monster under the bed for little kids and being afraid of the darkness is the same challenge model of moving through the hero's journey. And how do you deal with the monsters and the fear of the dark so that you grow up into a bigger boy or a bigger girl who can tell the monster to go back to sleep or not be afraid of the dark? And then we have these stories that we retell to our children. Now, remember Rumpelstiltskin? Rumpelstiltskin is exactly the alchemical story. It is literally changing straw into gold. And we all heard, or if you haven't heard it, God, look it up on the internet. It's fabulous. And you can see yourself in every single one of these characters. So I looked back through my own life and, where was that mythical time for me? Well, when I was 7, 8, and 9, I went to a private school, and I rode horses. And my little girlfriends and I played horses. We were horses. And we had kind of this flatbed, like a lot of the girls are, yeah. How many little girls played horses? Oh, look at us! And we whinnied and we pranced, and we were the horses, and sometimes the Indians were riding us, and sometimes the cowboys were riding us, and so this is Jungian and Freudian, and all of this stuff, moving through the stories of little girls. But we had this flatbed kind of thing that was very old and falling down and made out of wood, and I think it used to be able to be hooked up to a vehicle, but it was in our playground, and so we pretended that somehow we got caught in a corral, And we pawed at the corral and we whinnied. And pretty soon, of course, before recess was over, we got out of the corral. And we were running all around the playground whinnying and having a great time and rearing up and having this kind of a unicorn experience of the captivity, but then the freedom. And then when I went to France and England, there are these unicorn tapestries. The same thing, the captivity of the unicorn, and then the killing of the unicorn, but then the resurrection of the unicorn. And that whole thing about the horses was the same thing for me. And I guess a lot of us, that we lived that mythical story of some little girl hooved animal partnership thing. And so it was changing captivity into freedom, changing the lowly into gold. Oh, so fabulous. So it's not just story. Because whatever challenge you're going through right now, you can fit that into the hero's journey. And you can grow into your free prancing state instead of being locked in the challenge. That is why we have challenges. It's not just to annoy us. We have challenges so that we can grow through them. So the next thing about ancient alchemical wisdom is that it really does seem to be like a work of magic. This is the book on Becoming an Alchemist, a guide for the modern magician. So, in this book, let me find page number 7 here. Alchemy is not merely a metaphor, it is, as Jung described, an inner process. The motive for that inward change is to produce outward change, that is, to rearrange the stuff of this world. The alchemist's aim is to work magic. The traditional practical goals of alchemical magic, to promote human health and material well-being, are to be taken absolutely literally. So, we're on a work of magic. Somehow, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put all of these out because I am talking about them in a way that, don't look at the other ones. So the depth psychology should have been in there, but it's fine. Okay, so we're on magic now, magic. So I have just started a Foundations class and a Prosperity Plus class. And in these classes, there are a lot of beginning students. So they are suggested to do exercises about beliefs, and which have to do with changing their mind, making a new reality welcome, and acting as if they were happier and more excited about their life. And report after report after report, almost instantly, their life changes, and they come back to class and say, it's like magic. Truly. And so it depends on what your definition of magic is, but when we say in Science of Mind, change your thinking, change your life, to someone who has not mastered that very simple directive and then tries it, and their beliefs change and their life changes, it feels like magic. So, next is the application of natural laws. This is really wonderful. The magic lies not in defying the laws of nature, but in knowing them and applying them to such remarkable effect. This is what alchemical magic is really like. So then they go on and tell this wonderful story about Findhorn, and you know how I love Findhorn. And if you don't know about Findhorn, this will give you a preview of it. It's about a paragraph long. At Findhorn, a windswept trailer park on the coast of Scotland, cabbages the size of beach balls were grown in soil that was little more than sand. The results were so improbable that Findhorn acquired a reputation of being a magical place, and its gardeners magical people. While it seems more unlikely than this other trick that they talked about previously, the gardener's spectacular yield was not the result of anything supernatural. The Findhorn residents took the sort of actions that are familiar to any gardener: enriching the soil, staking, watering, and so on. What was unusual was the source of their information. They took instructions from the devas, the nature spirits, who guided the growth of particular plant species. For instance, the spinach deva would tell them that the spinach plants wanted to be farther apart. The tomato deva would request that a windbreak be left in place until the plants had set fruit. The pea deva would counsel, "Don't worry about the slugs, they're not a threat to us." Unexceptional actions proved exceptionally effective because the gardeners were being taught to perceive the garden from the plant's point of view. So what you're seeing here is natural laws according to the plant world, and the people really looked at the plants and felt into them to see what they wanted, feeling that they were sentient beings. Now, in my garden at home, I actually don't hear or see the devas actually, but I hear the roses. I know when they want to be fed. I know when they want to be cut back. And not all the way cut back like I do in January, but cut back significantly. I feel that. And so I have this relationship with my roses so that they produce. And I have a gardener who comes in and looks at the roses and says, "None of my other clients have roses like this. I don't know what you're doing." And so I'm just listening to them. So up here again, that alchemical wisdom is a way to take a lowly thing and make it valuable. So from this book again, it says, this is great. Imagine for a moment that it was impossible to dispose of garbage. Imagine you had to find a way to recycle every single thing you currently throw away. You would end up inventing alchemy. To transmute is to take a lowly thing and make it valuable, to take a harmful thing and make it helpful. So another alchemical thing that we do all the time, is cooking. We take, or if you don't cook, gosh, it's so fun to actually take a potato, you know. So you take a potato, a brown potato that is not particularly beautiful unless you love potatoes, and they're so beautiful. So you take a potato and you take an onion and you take some garlic, all of which are kind of, well, you could call them lowly vegetables. I think they're fabulous. And you practice shredding and chopping and blanching and sauteing, and we learn to make food. We learn to make delicious food. And that is an alchemical process. If you ate raw potatoes only, you would starve to death because our digestion cannot break down the raw structure of a potato. Potatoes do need to be cooked. So that's an alchemical process that we learn. And what if every time we prepared food, we realized that it was a holy practice of love, of loving what we started with? Because, honestly, if you eat meat, if you eat a chicken, if you eat a fish, if you eat a carrot, if you eat a cabbage, it's live. Live something is taken into your body to support your livingness. every meal, living things give their lives for us. Think about that and love them as they do that, and love the process of making it delicious, and love your digestive system that knows what to do with it. And you are a contemporary alchemist, transforming things for your great good, so you can be a powerful force for good in the world and touch every life so it leans towards healing. So finally, it's to render the harmful beneficial. Every single healing, which is our topic for this month, is about taking an injury or taking a disappointment and growing it into us that is hopefully more magnificent as we have grown through it. Now, in the almost 20 years that I have been your minister, you have seen me go through a divorce, you have seen me go through cancer, you have seen me go through very disappointing and difficult times. And those things that I have gone through has made me this. And so when we look at those things in our own life, every single difficulty that you have is the beginning of a hero's journey. And every single difficulty that you have, if you take it to a practitioner, the practitioner will set you on that hero's journey. And so whether we call it alchemy or spiritual mind healing or magic, it's the same. We are in the business of transformation. So for us all to become these healing alchemists, taking lowly things and taking harmful things and making them into wonderful things, the process is to, and you can do this with the news, it's really effective with the news, is that you take the awareness into yourself, offering no resistance. So if it's suffering, you take it into yourself, offering no resistance. You have complete acceptance. I accept that this is happening on our planet. And I accept that there's great, great pain involved with this. And I accept this with no resistance into me. And I now am filled with compassion for these people who are having this pain in their lives. And as I am filled with compassion, it is a step for me that I can do to move into forgiveness. And as I move into forgiveness, I find myself in love. And that is becoming a contemporary alchemist. And so in the Bible, when it says Jesus was the Lamb of God who taketh away the sins of the world, that's alchemy. It's not that, it's really not that well, he did kind of give his life for us, but instead of having, I can say those words and have it be superstitious and I want to recoil from it, or I can see it as an alchemical process, that he takes the mistakes of the world into himself and gives back love. Taking the mistakes of the world into himself and give back love. And that's what we all can do. We can take the mistakes of the world into ourselves. We can accept, we can offer compassion, we can offer forgiveness, and we can offer love. And what happens is the world becomes a better place and we become agents of healing. So most of you know the 100th monkey story. Anybody not know the 100th monkey story? Okay, very, very briefly, the 100th monkey story is about and some say this is an urban legend, but the morphic field is not an urban legend. The morphic field says that if enough people do a new thing, it flips into being the norm. That's the morphic field theory. So the 100th monkey story, which is wonderful, is that there were a group of monkeys who ate their sweet potatoes as a major part of their diet, digging them up and eating them with dirt on them. And then one day, a sweet potato got away from somebody, and it rolled down into the sea, and it was much more delicious with no sand and a little salt. So they started washing their sweet potatoes, and then all the monkeys on that island started washing sweet potatoes and eating them. And then the really miraculous thing is that all the monkeys in the neighboring islands started washing their potatoes all at once. That's the 100th monkey syndrome and the morphic field business of that. That has been proven over and over and over again. And it's usually about 10%. If 10% of a population does something new and does it consistently, it helps the whole population flip into that better behavior. So what if you, taking into yourself a suffering piece of the world, is the 100th monkey? What if that one healing thing that you do, by taking that thing that's bothering you right now and bringing it into yourself with acceptance and compassion and forgiveness and love, that was the one that changed the world. Please, please do it. And I will too. Thank you. And your takeaway today to tell everybody what you did this morning is love works miracles. So taking that and all that we've talked about, all that just makes your mind hum if you're like me, find a sweet place inside. And then allow something harmful in your awareness to make itself known to you. And really look at this. It hurts. This harmful thing hurts. It either hurts you or it hurts someone or something, some sentient being on this planet. It hurts. And so taking this and setting it aside for just one moment, just a little bit to one side. And then remembering something or someone that you love so much that you just weep when you think about this person or this state or God, something so wonderful that you could never give enough praise and appreciate it enough. And feel that love, feel that amazing love that you have for this person or situation. Just sitting in the love. Remembering your sweet thing that you love, feeling the love, remembering the sweet thing, feeling the love. And then with your whole being vibrating with love, pull the harmful thing in. Just pull it in and accept it. And let the love transform it. And it can transform it in any way that is natural. It can disempower it, it can make it fade, it can dissolve it, it can change it to joy. But it's so easy, and it's so necessary for us to become healers of the world. Blessed be.
no idea. That was the most beautiful talk. I have never felt that moved. And I thank you. I didn't know that about you with divorce and cancer. It makes me love you even more. Appreciate it. This is my home church. I don't come here that often, but this is where I would be on a Sunday if I didn't go to other churches. And so this is my place. And you've helped me birth 4 of my Dr. Seuss poems. This is the 4th one. And I feel very safe here to experiment, and I appreciate that. Okay. Thanks to Ron and Ed, this next one will be on YouTube soon, and if you can help it go viral, I'd appreciate that. All right. This may be a weird thing to ask, but if you can hold back on writing checks or taking out your money until I'm done with this, it'll help me easily remember it. Okay. So take out your smartphone and send out a text to your family and friends, all your loved nervous wrecks, and tell them their nerves need no longer be taxed. They can travel downstream and be much more relaxed. And if they say, hey, that just makes me afraid, 'cause lazy don't pay me, there's bills to be paid, let them see easy does it is working for you. That your life has your back and your trust sees you through. And if they say, no way, Jose, that's just fine. Not everyone's hip to the trip, they're divine. But everyone gets there in their own sweet time, and you help them the most just by staying aligned. I'm staying aligned, staying aligned. Everybody, I'm staying aligned. And so, when your isness becomes your main business, you feel just like Santa the eve before Christmas. There's so much to give and so much to receive. And it happens as easy as breath when you breathe. Your breath breathes itself with no push and no shove. And so goes your life when you know that you're loved. And if you work hard and do work up a sweat, it's only because you so love getting wet. Because when you're inspired to follow your bliss, even when you perspire, it feels effortless. Like the work that you're doing is being done through you. And you're thrilled to be letting the universe do you. Oh God, oh God. Please email this poem, although some might delete it, and post it on Facebook and on Twitter. Tweet it. Tweet, 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 tweet. Because millions are ready to hear the good news, that struggle's a choice that you don't have to choose. And struggle-free living, oh my, how we love it. We flow down the stream on the boat, easy does it. And easy does do it, we find out at last. We don't stop at the tolls, we just use Easy Pass. We're taking it light in the slow lane or fast, 'cause the joke's been on us, and we finally can laugh. I've one final message, and then I will go. You can't give up struggle completely, you know. There are rites of passages, powerful rites, when struggle's a part of you birthing more life. Try reading this poem to a woman in labor. She'd say, out of my face, don't do me no favors. Our struggles are sometimes endearingly human. They spice up our life like fresh garlic or cumin. So next time you struggle, please don't self-attack. Don't struggle with struggle. Let's cut you some slack. Because when you are kind to yourself in your struggles, the kindness alone brings relief on the double. Let's take another deep breath. Help me remember the last part of the poem. Just one more deep breath. Something about, oh yeah. And so, to wrap up now, because I'm feeling spent, let's sacrifice struggle this Easter for Lent. Or just do it now. Why procrastinate when the garden of ease is our natural state? It's been waiting with patience, and it's well worth the wait. The garden of ease is our natural state. It's everyone's birthright and everyone's fate. The garden of ease is our natural state. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just quickly, if you want the words to that poem, see me at my table after the service, and we'll figure out a way of getting that to you. And if you want the YouTube, give me your email address, and I'll email you the YouTube. Thanks to Ron and Ed. It should be out soon. Thank you so much.
And there's all kinds of other things at his table over there, too, so be sure to go shopping. And, I also wanted to say that the bookstore has so many more wonderful things. So you definitely want to take a moment at the bookstore. They've got a whole lot of things in for beginning to get holiday things in. So now is the time, before you go shopping, to give some of your money to us. So would the ushers please come forward? All that, though, and please do finish writing your checks that you stopped writing for Scott. And just know that giving creates more space for receiving. And that the glory of God is giving all the time. And if you hold on too tight, there's no space in there to receive more. So as you give today, open up to receive more blessings, especially prepared for you. And so let's read the affirmation together. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. So it is. So would the ushers please receive the gifts?
You are a miracle, God's child. You are a miracle, God's child. You have perfect love in your heart. You are a miracle, God's child. God's child. Let's bring it up a little bit. You are a miracle, God's child. You are a miracle, God's child. You have perfect love in your heart. You are a miracle, God's child. God's child. You are a miracle, God's child. You are a miracle, God's child. You have perfect love in your heart. You are a miracle, this child.
We bless these gifts. We bless the dear hearts who gave these gifts. We bless this community that contains and surrounds and connects us all, knowing all is well in our world. Blessed be. So, announcements. Before I go to the slides, there's one that doesn't have a slide that I really want you to remember. So, listen. Okay? October 12th, 2 Sundays from now, we are going to have a new member potluck to celebrate our new members. And so that's going to be fabulous. Bring more food. So, like for you and about 8 other people, so we can all have a wonderful potluck. What did I just say? Thank you. Very good. Very good. Good.
Sunday service.
Right here. Right here. Right here. So, I got the word that some of you still kind of nap through the announcements, even though we try to make them so fabulous. So just watch out, because we're gonna, have opera or something, announcement opera. Yeah, okay. Yo, listen up, people. See, now you would remember that. That is great. Okay. This is the October theme, how to happily coexist with all our earthly forms. And so it's gonna be a great month. So that's all the way through October. So
I can feel it coming. Halloween is on its way. Oh my God.
And if you are not a member of this community and think, well, they're kind of crazy enough for me, come to the orientation next Sunday. And then the big party for you is on? Yes, very good. And this coming Saturday, if you want to take this wonderful autumn workshop from me, you need to pay ahead of time because we still don't have quite enough to offer it. So the sign-up sheet with the envelope is right over there. So those are the announcements. And now, if the practitioners would surround the room, getting ready for our close of this sweet, sweet morning. So please accept this blessing from me. May you be a healing presence in your own life and in the lives of everyone you touch. And in order to do this, may Spirit guide your way. So these beloved ones in front of the altar are ready to pray with you. And there's all kinds of things to sign up for and people to hug. So to complete the morning, please stand and repeat this affirmation. I accept my work as a healer of the world. I continually work at healing myself so I can take the pain of the world and transform it into love and light within my own divine heart.